Hi everybody, this is our last week of doing fraction practice like this. You guys have done a really great job, and this week it's super short because we only have 4 days of school, so you only have 2 slides that you need to get done. So let's take a look at the first one, which is slide 3, where it says equivalent fractions here up at the top. And your job here is to use the given fraction to find where it's located on the number line. So I'm going to do the first one for you, and then you get to do the rest. The first one says, use the purple smiley face to show 2/3. So if I think about that fraction 2/3, I'm going to start by looking at the denominator, the bottom part of the fraction, and I see that it has a 3. And I notice on the number line that there's way more pieces than 3 pieces, right? Like if I were to start at 0 and I count each of the tick marks, so there's 1, 2, 3, I'm not at the 1 whole mark, right? I should end up over here if I've done it correctly. So that means that instead of looking at each section one at a time, I'm going to have to count it a little bit differently. So now I'm going to see, well, what if I use 2 of those chunks, right? 2 of those pieces. Will I end up at 1 whole? So let's try that. So here I'm going to say, okay, I'm skipping this first tick mark and I'm landing right here. I'm counting that as number 1. Then I'm going to skip again. So I end up here. I'm at number 2. Skip again. And now I'm at number 3. And so that worked because 3/3 is the same as 1 whole. So if I look back at that fraction, I need to put the purple smiley face at 2/3. I'm going to start back over here at 0. And I'm going to take my step and step. So now I'm at 1/3. Step and step. So right here, this tick mark represents 2/3. Okay, so I'm going to go pick up that purple smiley face and drag it on my number line, and that problem is done. Okay, so as you're doing the rest of these number lines, the first thing you're going to have to do is look at that denominator and figure out how to break up your number line. All right, let's look at the 4th slide. So we had a set kind of like this last week, where they're giving you a fraction and you need to build the equivalent fraction. So again, I'm going to do the first one for you. So if I have 2/4 and I need to build it into 6 somethings, right? That's the question mark. This time is in the denominator spot. I'm going to take my fraction and multiply it by 1, but we know there's lots of ways to write the number 1. So in this case, I'm looking at my numerators because I have the 2 and the 6, and I'm thinking, well, what would I multiply 2 by that's going to get me to 6? And the answer is 3, because 2 times 3 is 6. So up here, I'd be multiplying by 3, and in the denominator, I'm also going to multiply by 3. And 4 times 3 gets me 12, so I can erase that question mark and replace it with a 12. 2/4 is equal or equivalent to 6/12. Okay, so you get to do the rest of them. And as you know, if you've got questions, you can send me an email. I love to hear from you, and I look forward to looking through your work this weekend. Bye, guys.